Okay, I've got another irrigation project here. I have a bad backflow preventer right down into there. And the reason I know it's bad is I had it checked. The purpose of a backflow preventer is to keep the water in the irrigation system from mixing with the fresh water supply that goes to your house. Why is this important? Well, if you put fertilizer or other chemicals on your lawn and the sprinkler heads pop up, it could allow those chemicals to enter the irrigation system and make its way back to the fresh water supply. The backflow preventer closes off when there is no positive water flow, stopping any contaminated water from entering the main water supply. This all started with a sprinkler head that was broken. I replaced it, went to turn on the sprinkler system to test it, had zero water pressure, or very, very little water pressure. It was only spraying a small amount. All of the zones in the front and backyard are doing this. They bubble, they gurgle, but they don't have enough pressure to pop up. So I took these caps off here, and the little plungers in there were stuck and they were not allowing water to flow through it. So I took everything apart, cleaned everything up, got the plungers moving correctly, put it all back together. First thing I'm going to do is turn the water off. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. We'll see if that works. This valve is probably 20 years old or better. You can see down inside that spring right there. Yeah, I think both of these are just locked up. Let me go see what I can do. These, you got your spring, you got your, I don't know, housing. They call this the poppet. The seal looks good. I'm not going to try to mess with that. But these should be sliding in and out of this housing fairly easily. And as you can see, they're not. It's got some green buildup and all that right there. So hopefully I can take this apart and clean it. It at least turns now. Make sure I didn't mark any of that up. Yeah, it's just a lot of buildup in there. The manufacturer says to use a piece of dowel rod or wood, because you do not want to change the inner diameter of this, and you don't want to use anything that's going to scratch it. I have an old brush here that has a dowel on it. Yeah, see, it's still just not sliding smooth. I know the manufacturer says don't do this. I've got some quadruple aught steel wool. I'm going to just see if this will loosen up any of this stuff. I do several rounds of cleaning with the 4/0 steel wool on both the poppet housing and the shaft. take a flathead screwdriver and run it around the edge to knock off all the crusty debris. After the first one is cleaned and moving smoothly, I tackle the second one. That's what it should do right there. Let's see if we can get these back in here. Basically this goes down in there. Seats. Spring goes on that. Okay, let's turn the water back on. Let's hope there's no leaks. We'll go try turning these things on and see what happens.
We're getting wet. Yay!
We actually have pressure now.
Dang, look at it over here. That head's tilted.
Yeah, you can see the heads are a little tilted. I need to come back and straighten some stuff out, but as you can see, we have pressure. Let me go down and look at the valve and make sure everything's okay.
Want me to turn it off?
No, leave it on. Well, it appears okay. We're gonna go with that. I took everything apart, cleaned everything up, got the plungers moving correctly, put it all back together, and then I had an irrigation company come out and test this. I don't have the gauges. The gauges run like $650 or something like that, and I don't have those. So they came out, tested it, and said that this valve here was not working correctly. The only other thing I could do at this point is replace it. So that's what I'm gonna do. After some exploratory digging, I got the original box out, dug out, and dug under the backflow preventer. I'm also going to add a shutoff valve. When this was originally installed 20 plus years ago, code did not depict that you needed a shutoff valve. Now you do. It is tied into the main water line, and there is no shutoff for it. The shutoff to the house is in that box there. So there's not a shutoff for the irrigation other than the two valves that are on the backflow preventer. So I'm going to install one like this right here. So I picked up a round box. It's going to go here. I'm going to cut the water line right here, right in here. I'm going to put a 90 on it. It's going to come back to here, circle back around and go back inside here and then straight back out. I had a little bit of an issue where my valve on the street side of the meter would not turn off. I had to call the water company. They came out and disconnected this line so I could do my repair, and then left me the seal, and I'm gonna put this back together so I can at least have water tonight. We're gonna have the water company come out and fix the ball valve because it won't turn off all the way. It's kind of what the issue is. So let me get started on that. The reason we had to call the city out is because of this. See if you can see this. Guy came out, very nice guy. He left this open for me. They're not supposed to do that, but he did because he knew I was gonna fix this and he knew I could put this back on. So that's what I'm gonna do. They don't consider this an emergency repair. No water to the house because it's disconnected. And we have to put in a trouble ticket with the city. Hopefully they can come out in a few days and replace that ball valve. To me, that's emergency repair. You have people here without water. All right, let's get this back in. It uses this little rubber seal, which he left me. At least be able to get the water back on for tonight. It took several phone calls and more than 2 months before the city came out and replaced this valve. I'm glad I didn't wait on them. I don't like doing stuff on the city side. Shouldn't be my responsibility. Residential side I get, but not on the city side. All right, here goes nothing. After getting the water turned back off, I get the shutoff valve disconnected again. After my little mishap yesterday with the pipe blowing off from the water pressure, I shut the water back down, I cleaned everything up, re-glued it, and let it sit for 2 hours before I repressurized it. But I didn't film it because it got dark and I didn't have lighting out here and really couldn't see anything anyway. I think the problem was, from what I can gather, my glue joint, I think it had a little bit of water mixed in with it and it didn't allow the glue to set up, and I also did not let it set up long enough. I only let it set up about 10 or 15 minutes, which street water pressure was too high for it. Right now everything is pressurized, it's on, it's holding, it held all night, so I think we're good to go at this point. All right, let's let that drain. It'll be in a minute, we'll come back. Now the backflow preventer that I'm using is a Febco by Watts. Mine's a 1-inch line. It's an 850 QT FZ DC, and it's made for in-ground. If you have the above ground type, it looks completely different. And that's what it looks like right there. It does have a freeze sensor, but there's another piece that you have to purchase that goes with this that will send that information to your phone. It does have arrows that show which way the water's supposed to flow. You've got one there, and one on that side. So you got to make sure you put them in correctly. They do have stainless steel ball valves, which are pretty good, and they're tough to turn. I have these adapters that are glue in to threaded. They're going to go obviously in here, one on each side, like so, and then I will glue this in to the pipe, I don't know, somewhere around here. Now, most people will use a Teflon tape for this. I'm going to use a heavy-duty thread sealer, so hopefully this will be better than Teflon tape. Now you don't want to over tighten these because you could crack them, but you do want to make sure because once you do this, if this were to leak, there's really not much you can do except cut it out and start over. Alright, that's tight. Let's do the other one. I prepped and glue up the remaining PVC and get the backflow preventer put into place and allow everything to set up and dry for a couple of hours. I had a camera malfunction and I failed to get the rest of the installation. Turn this on. Turn this on. And the last one. Alright, everything is pressurized. Just let it sit for a minute. Let's give it one more final check. Make sure I don't have any drips or leaks. Alright. Got all the dirt back in with the help from my wife. I got the grass back in the best we could. Of course, there's never enough grass to finish it that you took out, but everything's good to go. We're going to water it in and wrap this one up. We'll call it done. We'll see you in the next video. That sounds familiar.